Open your mind.
The prophet of thought. It's the new dark exodus live.
D.X.L. You know. Open your mind.
Dark exit. The protester. Dark exit. Open your mind.
You know.
Yeah, X.
You know.
Dark exit. You understand? Yeah, X. You understand? Open your mind. Dark exit.
You know.
You understand? dark exodus, dark exodus.
And peace, folks. Welcome back to another edition of the Proper Thought series right here on the old T.P.O.T YouTube page. I'm your host, X, of course, but you knew that already. That's why your black asses is here. Tonight, good show for y'all tonight. Serious show. We're going to have Mrs. Cariol Holloman-Horne on tonight. And she's got a compelling tale, man. Full disclosure, me and Mrs. Horne, we have spoke before. She was on my radio show, I think back in 2014 or 2015. So, I just want to put that out there. But before we get started, like always, I always start the show off with thanking you good folks for your support, for your subscriptions, for your views, and for your donations. Like I always say, you don't have to spend your hard-earned pennies, nickels, dimes, quarters, and 50-cent pieces on this platform. You don't have to watch these streams every week, and you don't have to support this show, but you choose to do so. You choose to do so. So, for that, I'm grateful. I'm honored. I am humbled, and I appreciate you. I appreciate every single one of you, because I know this platform wouldn't be what it is without you good folks. All right. So I thank you. Now, like I said, tonight we're going to be talking with Miss Cariol Holloman-Horne, and Mrs. Horne is an ex-Buffalo police officer. Y'all already know, because I spoke to y'all about it yesterday, what her story is. She actually was fired from her job for being a good cop. She actually stopped a fellow officer from choking a suspect to death. Yeah. She got fired for that. And, she was on the force for like 20 years. I think it was 19, 20 years she was on the force. And they fired her over that. Charged her too. Yeah, they charged her, fired her, tried to beat her out of her pension. The last time I had spoke with Mrs. Horne, she was still fighting for her pension. I'm not sure if she's gotten it. I'm not sure. I guess we'll find out all of that tonight. All right, she's writing me now. Let me see what the hell is going on. Good look on that super chat, brother Wayman Brown. Appreciate that, man. Yeah, she's writing me now. She's saying the StreamYard is not loaded. Man, this StreamYard shit, man. I might have to switch to Zoom, man. Let me just text her back right quick, y'all. But yeah, she has a real compelling story to tell. And she hasn't been idle since then. I mean, she's involved with a lot of these protests. She's become a full-fledged advocate. I have been reading up on her, and she's been busy. She has been busy, but I will let her tell those tales. Yeah, she's trying to come in, but of course, StreamYard is ridiculous. So I'm writing her back. Because she says she's having some problems with the StreamYard for some reason. What's good? The life of King Wage, man. What's good with it, brother? I'm gonna have to see what the hell is going on. Yeah, because she said she was trying to come in, but she says the StreamYard keep knocking her off, which isn't uncommon. Which is not uncommon at all. Streamlab shit, man, is like absurd sometimes. Also tonight, we're not just going to have Miss Cariol Holloman-Horne. We're going to have my man Corey Haywood going to be up here tonight because he wanted to talk about this George Floyd thing as well. I know he's chomping at the bit to talk about it. So we're going to have him on as well. And I'm waiting for someone else also. But I really want to get Mrs. Horne on because I need y'all to hear what the lady has to say. I'm waiting for her to text me back, y'all, because we got to figure out what the hell is going on with the stream yards. This shit's always messing up, man. It's like always something. She's saying, oh, it's not loading. Got kicked off. I don't know what's going on. Don't know what's going on, y'all. It's always something. Always something going on up here. I thought I seen her pop up, and then it looked like she went off. I don't know what the hell's going on down there. I don't think it's my end for a change. It's not my end at this time for a change. You know? It is not me this time, folks. It is not me. It is not me this time. She ain't hit me back, so something must be going on. I don't know if she's trying to come in. I probably should have just did the phone lines. I probably should just hook my phone lines up. That's what I should have did. But she said she wanted to come on the stream yard stream. So here we are. I could have just probably should have been better to hook up my phone lines. Matter of fact, I might as well go ahead and call her. Y'all just talk amongst yourselves. Just talk amongst yourselves.
It's not letting me connect. Like I'll connect, but I can't see nothing or whatever.
Oh. Are you trying to go on with your phone, or are you going on with a laptop or something?
I was going on with my phone.
How about this? How about I send it to your email, and you might can get through your email. Cause what?
There's only so much I can say now because I'm not even supposed to be talking to you, but
okay.
Because I didn't remember, I was like, oh my God.
Okay.
And I had the number coming up over and over again. I'm like, keep calling me. I just like running around and I'm trying to get them to be quiet.
Oh, okay. Well, you settling the grandkids in, right? So, I mean, whenever you get them, you get them settled in, shoot me your email and I'll just put it there if you want.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, she got the grandkids running around, and she trying to get up on here and trying to get them quiet and all that kind of stuff. She says so. I guess whenever she can, I don't know, get a free moment or get them in the bed or whatever, she gonna come on through. But yeah, I wanted to get her on here because I wanted her to come up here and talk to y'all about what was going on. But being that she's not going to be here for a while because she got the grandkids going on, I guess I can kind of fill y'all in. I think this was in 2007, I believe, or 2008. 2007, 2008, I'm not really sure. But she was a police officer in Buffalo, right? She worked in the city of Buffalo. right? And she had been working for 20 years. I mean, you know, she's freaking damn near to retirement. All right. She's damn near to her retirement. And she goes on a call. I know the story because I've heard it before. She goes on a call and she gets there with a few of her fellow officers. And this brother you see here in the middle, this is Neal Mack right here, right? She goes there and they went, I believe it was some type of domestic call, if I remember correctly. It was some type of a domestic call. And, you know, they were locking him up, obviously. And on the way out of locking him up, this guy behind me here, all right, Mr. Officer Kwiatkowski, I believe his name is, he started, you know, choking him. Okay, started choking him. So she jumps on him and stops the choking. And this coward here, he turns around and hits her. And when he hits her, man, he knocks out, I believe he knocks out 2 of her teeth. And she had to have constructive surgery on her mouth after that. Now, with all of that, she gets brought up on charges. Of course, there's an internal affairs review and all that kind of shit. And she ends up getting fired and charged with obstruction because she stopped this cop behind me from choking this brother here, Mr. Neal Mack, to death. She probably saved his life. Mrs. Horne probably saved his life. But, you know, of course, they didn't necessarily see it that way. So, of course, she ended up getting fired, fighting for her pension for years. I'm still not sure if she's gotten it. The last time we spoke, she was fighting for it. You know, she was still fighting for her pension the last time we spoke. And this guy, Officer Kwiatkowski, I believe his name is Kwiatkowski. Since then, this man has been charged. He's been charged with other crimes. He retired from the police force and got charged with other crimes that took place while he was on the police force and ended up doing federal time. So this dude was just a bad, you know, this dude was just an all-around bad cop. All right, that's all it was. He's just an all-around bad cop. Oh, shit. I see my brother down there.
I have returned, my friend. How are you?
Brother Haywood.
Can y'all hear me?
What's good with it, man?
Hey, man, brother.
Been a while, brother.
It's been
a while. I can hear you.
Okay.
What's good with it, man?
Man, I've been watching all of these shenanigans take place.
Yeah, it has.
And all I can say, man, is that I've been staying my black ass inside. That's all I can say. It's been a whole lot of foolishness going on, man. Is there a delay? Can you hear me?
Man, it's been nuts. Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, okay.
It's been nuts, cool, man. Cool. And I'm supposed to have ex-police officer Cariol Holloman-Horne on. This is the lady, this is the officer from Buffalo who actually stopped another cop from choking a suspect to death. And she ended up getting fired for it.
Okay. That's good.
Because she stopped another cop from choking the shit out of somebody.
Mm-hmm.
And I think she's still fighting for her pension because she was on the force for like 20 years. So I was trying to get her on. She's got the grandkids running around, so she probably won't be on for a few minutes. So what's good with you, man? What's going on out there on the West Coast, man?
Well, although George Floyd, may he rest in peace, my heart goes out to him and his family. Although he was killed in Minnesota, Minneapolis, I believe. Apparently, the aftermath has spread to the Los Angeles area, and it's really just now calming down. Last week, man, people were over here mad, upset. I mean, you had black folks in Santa Monica, Beverly Hills, just fucking shit up, And this is what I said. I mean, I was only 4 years old when the 1992 riots happened. I didn't get to see that shit, but I saw footage. And I always thought to myself, why did them niggas go to, them white areas and tear shit up? Why did they tear their own shit up? And I guess, well, I ain't the only one who felt that way. Because over the last couple weeks, man, I mean, Negroes have come up. You know what I'm saying? I saw one nigga, he had a coffee table. He was carrying a coffee table out some motherfucker. I said, wow. They're not just going for Jordans anymore. They ain't going for shoes and some guy was rolling on a washing machine. I saw that too. I said, man. The looting is real.
Walking down the street with furniture. Yeah, it's real. Yeah, the loot's real. That shit real, man. It's real.
I had to stop myself from going out.
Real.
I can't be part of this foolishness, but I sure did think about it. Get me a little something. I'm like, yeah.
That shit is crazy, man. Well, it's like that too. It's like that in North Carolina. Well, it's like that all over. All over. They've been looting, burning shit down, tearing shit up, destroying shit. And, I've never really had problem with people protesting, marching, looting, pillaging, doing all of that. I just wish they would take the shit to somewhere else. I wish that they wouldn't do it where they live. I wish that they wouldn't burn down the drugstore where grandma goes to get her insulin. I wish they wouldn't burn down the bodega that give your old mama credit when her ass ain't got no money. I mean, why understood that part of it? I kind of get the protesting and the anger and all that shit. I kind of get it. They burnt the police department down. Don't have a problem with that at all.
Yep, me either. I like that. That was the only part
I didn't have a problem with that at all.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I don't have a problem.
Burn them motherfuckers.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with that shit.
Burn that down.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with that. The bodegas and the little mom and pop shops, and you're doing that kind of shit, man. It kind of. Plus, even with all of that, think about it now. We've had these type of things happen over the course of history.
Oh, hello. Why can't I hear this, man? What's going on?
History. Because this is going to stop brothers from getting killed by the police. All I can hope for is that less brothers get killed by the police. It's not going to go away, man. And I know people hate to hear that shit, but it's not. It's not going anywhere.
It's not going to go away. But I also want to caution people from hyperbolizing what's going on. Okay, and what I mean by that is, yes, cops ain't shit. We know that. Okay, but at the same time, I don't want black men to pass that hatred for cops down to their children. Because if we're trying to protect black lives, then it's important for our children to know what they have to do to save themselves when they're confronted by cops, right? And so if they're mad or angry, if they're taught to be mad or angry, whenever they're in the presence of police, it could lead to some of them either going to jail or losing their lives. So there's a very fine line we have to walk. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I don't believe, I don't think hatred of the police serves anything. Being weary of them, of course, and lessen your contact with them, of course, but I don't think hatred for law enforcement is necessarily a good thing. because cops are aware. We're talking about defunding the police and all that kind of stuff, but I don't think people really know what that means. When you're talking about defunding the police, what you're really talking about, man, is taking away some of that to keep them from doing shit that they probably shouldn't be doing anyway. That's all you're gonna do.
Right.
You know, you're not gonna, you're not gonna come there and the police department's gonna be boarded up tomorrow, no shit like that. I mean, they're not going anywhere. They're not going anywhere, man.
Absolutely not.
You know, when you're talking about defunding the police, you're taking that money, some of that money out on that extra shit that they got going on. They won't be able to do that stuff anymore. You know, and I think that may be a good thing because they try to use the cops as social workers and counselors and all this other kind of nonsense. And it doesn't work. It doesn't work. This is how people end up dead. When you send in cops to go talk to some dude that's got mental problems, you know, that's how people end up dead. Because these cops, man, they don't know what the hell they're doing. Right. They're not psychologists. They're not counselors.
No, they don't.
They're not social workers. So that shit should be taken out of the equation anyway. You know, that should be taken out of the equation. But we've been joined by my man Perfect Blackness, and Edward Bailey is up here. What's good with it, brothers?
What's good, man? What's good?
Perfect
Can you
Black,
hear me,
what's
brother?
going on with it, man?
Brother, how you doing?
I'm
Yeah,
doing
I
good. Can y'all hear me?
What's going on?
Hey, Tip.
All right.
Yeah, I'm up here with my boy Corey Haywood.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
The one and
Mr.
only
Haywood, how you doing,
Corey
sir?
Haywood.
How you doing, guys?
How you doing, brother Perfect Blackness?
I'm doing
Peace
good,
and
man.
blessings
What's up?
all around be
How's
upon
it going with yourself?
So what you got? What you got for me, Perfect Black?
Well, I take kind of a different
Can you hear
take,
me?
man. Than yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Yeah,
hear me?
go ahead.
Well, let me step. Okay, because I don't know if I'm delayed out or whatnot. Okay, well,
I think I'm the one with the delay. I think I'm the one with the delay. I might have to drop myself down and come back up. I think I got somewhat of a delay over here, but go ahead.
Okay, well, let me be sure. Brother Haywood and Brother Billy, can y'all hear me?
Yes.
Yes, I can hear you,
Okay,
brother Blackness. Right. I can hear you, brother.
All right, cool. I take a bit of a different take on this about the police. Now, I always, when you get into these type of conversations, I feel a need to say, look, I spent 10 years in the United States Army, so I know what it feels like and what the need is and what it takes to actually truly serve the people of the United States and the Constitution. But I can tell you this, man, Brother Abel, when you say, or at least your take, at least in my opinion, your take on it, it assumes that there are some things that we need to be doing, or things that we have done to precipitate a lot of the violence that's being brought up against us. But when it comes to law
brother
enforcement,
Blackness, you seem to be fading in and out, bro.
How about now?
That's a little better.
You good? Go ahead.
Okay, see, I just
Perfect
think that
Blackness,
we get
check
into
your
these
Wi-Fi, bro.
Oh, you know what? I'm gonna drop down because I think I know what it is. Because I got my Bluetooth on. So let me. I'll drop that down. I'm gonna come back up.
Hey,
Okay.
T.P.O.T, I have something to say about
Brother
it. About this. What we're looking at is mass media manipulation 101 due to subliminal technology.
Mm-hmm.
I remember when I went to UCA about 30 years ago, and my communication.
I think it's my earphones or something.
We just lost them.
Uh-oh. Hello?
Yeah, we just lost them.
Oh, we just lost them. Okay.
We lost both of them.
What was going on. Oh, okay.
Okay, Perfect Black is back. Can you hear me, Brother Haywood?
I can
you hear me?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Okay. Yep.
We don't
All right, Perfect Black is back. Go ahead,
What's up,
brother
man? Can y'all
Perfect
hear
Black.
me? Can y'all hear me better?
Yeah, it's better.
Yeah, I can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Like I was saying, I take a different I take a far different take when it comes to law enforcement. Again, I spent 10 years in the Army, and then I do a lot of mentoring and coaching sports and all that. So I deal with a lot of black males on all the time, and it's getting into that season where it's going to be pretty much, well, I'm not going to have time to do too much, but too much of nothing but counseling, coaching, and work, and some guys that I coach with, they themselves are law enforcement. So I come from a different take, because look, we can teach our boys to, don't do this, don't do that, don't do this. But a good number of the time, and I dare say most of the times when we have these encounters with law enforcement where there's some brutality that's involved, we haven't done anything to precipitate that. That's all on the goddamn cops. And it really bothers me when I hear that. And it's all due respect to everybody who take a different take. But it really bothers me because when people take that side to say, well, you need to be doing this, that presupposes or assumes that there are some things that we are doing to bring this stuff about. Forget about the history, of law enforcement and black males. Forget about that. But there's really not a lot of the time, just like the latest one, the man wasn't doing anything. There wasn't anything he could have done to prevent that situation. He didn't do anything wrong.
He did break the law.
How did he break the law? Because
Well,
what he passed a $20 bill that he may not even know that he even had that was fake. Is that what you're telling me?
I mean,
How many of us
so I'm saying, well, I mean,
hold on? How many of us probably passed a fake
you asked
bill
me a
and we
question.
didn't know it?
I never have, but
How do you know it? How do
because
you know that?
the police were never called.
Okay, so again, but that my question stands. How do you know that you've never passed a fake bill?
So
Well, because they
I
didn't
feel
call,
like
they didn't
right,
recognize it.
right.
And you mean
I
to tell
feel
me?
like
That's why I
though.
You
always
mean to
check out
tell
the
me
Black
this
Laws
brother
Dictionary, bro.
he was a counterfeiter? He knew he was walking around with a pocket full of goddamn fake $20 bills. I mean, I don't think that we really understand the stuff that we be saying. He broke the law. Okay, he passed a fake $20 bill.
But,
Do we know that he even knew
okay.
it? See,
Well,
no one can say.
that's kind of the nuance of it, though, brother. Perfect Black. I mean, we don't know what he knew as far as the $20 bill goes. I mean, because I've gotten fake bills. I run a business and I've gotten, fake 20s before, fake hundreds, and you discover that shit, on the fly. Because, like you said, I mean, sometimes you get the shit and you don't even know it. Because I've had it happen to me a couple times. I've gotten a fake 20, fake $100 bill, from somebody and shit. But you don't really think that much of it. So I mean, the guy that he went to when he went to the store, right? Because we have to take it back, right? We have to take it back before the police even got involved, right? This guy picked up the phone and called the police for what? Because somebody had gave him a fake $20 bill. So he kind of facilitated the police to be there. All right. This guy did. This guy who runs the store, this deli, this bodega, he felt the need to call the goddamn police. Now, if someone gives me a fake $20 bill, right, and I know that they gave it to me, I would go to them. I wouldn't. My first instinct wouldn't be to call the police, like cops. Please send the cops. Somebody gave me a fake 20. No, I would confront that person if I know who that person is. And when I say confront, not run out there with my Desert Eagle and put it in their face, but I would be like, yo, bro, you just gave me a fake 20, right? This shit is fake. So, of course, I don't think he did nothing that should have even required the police even being on the scene. All right. But this guy, the store owner, he's the one who called the cops because he felt the need to call the cops over $20. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Right.
So
Exactly.
we got to kind of take the story back there.
And
Hey, brother,
I'm sorry.
T.P.O.T, isn't a counterfeit bill, having a counterfeit bill, a misdemeanor?
At that level, yes, it is. It's a misdemeanor. It's not a felony.
I believe so. Unless you got a whole suitcase up.
That's why I say at that level.
got
At
a
that
So you
level,
only
it's
have
a
one
misdemeanor.
that really didn't warrant deadly force, did it? It didn't warrant
Right.
that needed deadly force, since they only had one.
Right at that level, and plus, and I hate to put this out here, but I know that I had read this somewhere in an article that those two that that the officer knew him, that they knew each other, because the officer had he was moonlighting as a security officer somewhere, and that's where they knew each other.
Yeah, they worked at a club.
Right.
Yeah, they worked at a club together.
So they knew each other.
Yeah, I read that too.
So,
Okay.
And based on how he was being handled by this officers, I would dare say that there was some bad blood between them two anyway.
So the deadly force was put on them because there was something personal in the past between.
I would say so. Yeah, I would think so. Because again, when I learned that they knew each other,
I could believe that.
Yeah, when I learned that they knew each other,
I could believe that.
Right. When I learned that they knew each other, and that the fact that the officer he's within the confines of that gun and shield, as opposed to just some pissant security officer at a club. Yeah, I can see that the officer. I can see the officer really using the full extent of that damn blue wall to his benefit, which he most certainly did, which is clear on video. So when people say, well, he broke the law, well, did he break the law to the extent that he deserved to be fucking asphyxiated on fucking video where the whole world watches man take his last damn breath?
Okay,
No,
so
he didn't
I'm going to
deserve that,
respond
'cause he
now.
only had one counterfeit $20 bill.
Right, so I'm going to respond now. And when people say that, or when I say that, I am not rationalizing or justifying the man being assassinated in broad daylight, in cold blood, in front of a group of people. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, we know what the system is like. We know the police ain't shit. So it behooves us to behave accordingly so that we don't put ourselves in a position to be killed by a cop, to be harassed by a cop, assaulted by a cop, arrested and hauled to jail by a cop. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying that resisting arrest, and I'm not accusing George Floyd of that, but I'm saying that resisting arrest, breaking the law, doing things that antagonize cops, that provoke cops, that isn't in our best interest as black men. That's my point. And until we can force police reform, right, to the extent and to the magnitude that we're comfortable with, we must behave accordingly in the interim. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, and
I
I can
understand what you're
respect
saying,
that,
bro.
but because you brought that up, when you say, well, we shouldn't do A, B, and C to bring this about, I am forced to ask in this situation, what did this man do to precipitate any type of this type of encounter with the police?
Well, as
He
far
did
as, yeah,
nothing. He didn't
okay,
resist. There was
right.
nothing on the video to suggest that he resisted. He didn't do anything wrong. He was not in the wrong of doing anything to the extent of him passing a fake bill. There is no evidence whatsoever that he even knew that he was passing a fake bill, much less that he even knew that he had a fake bill in his possession. How do we even know that he even knew how a fake bill looked?
And you know what? You could be absolutely right. But based on the reports that I've read, he intentionally used a fake bill and was called out on it. Right? Now we can speculate all we want, but that's ultimately what happened. And that is what ultimately led to him, right, being confronted
So
by
therefore, this
police.
is all justified, even though
No, no,
he
no, no,
did
no. Once
resist.
again,
Let's
don't
just
jump to
take that
that.
argument. Let's just say he
No,
did.
don't
Let's just say
jump to
he
that.
did, that he knew that he was passing a fake bill. But
Right.
based upon what we saw on that video, he was not resisting arrest. He
Right.
didn't
I'm
do
not right.
anything to precipitate his own death.
That's what I'm saying. Let's not jump to that extreme. I'm not saying that him using a
Then what is the
counterfeit
value
bill
of even bringing that
justified.
up?
No,
Somebody, well,
but
you shouldn't do
I'm
it.
gonna
You
tell you
shouldn't do
why.
that.
I'm gonna tell
What's
you
the
why.
value of it?
Answer me this one question. If he didn't use it, would the cops have been there in the first place?
So
The
you're
cops
saying
wouldn't
that
have
he
been there if
deserved
it
to get
didn't
what he
happen on
got?
this person.
See, when you ask that question, that's what goddamn bothers me. When you ask that question, you are basically saying he deserved what he got.
What? No,
You're
no, no. That's
saying
not
it
what.
without saying it
How am I
explicitly.
saying that? That's not what I'm saying.
Then why even ask that question?
I'm saying
Why
this.
even,
I'm saying
why
this.
even ask that
I'm
question?
saying this. No
Why
one
even ask that
deserves to.
question
Hold
if
on.
that's what
No
you're
one
not
does. Hold on. No one deserves to die. But guess what? If I spend 30 years eating double cheeseburgers, chances are I might die of a heart attack. Okay? Cause and effect. And I'm saying to you that had he not broken the law, the cops wouldn't have been there, and he wouldn't have been in the position to be killed unlawfully. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying this black
See,
man,
and
the
again,
color.
the reason why I hate that, the reason why I hate those narratives is because that goes right back, and I hate to say this, but victim blaming, because that's exactly what you're doing. That's exactly what you're doing. You may not want to say that.
No, that's
You
not.
may not think that that's what you're doing, brother, but that's exactly what you're doing. You're blaming
No,
a man for his own goddamn death.
no.
And
What
we,
I'm saying to you is that by
we
virtue of the color of our skin,
we call it out. I'm
no,
sorry.
I'm saying that by virtue.
If I
No,
may
no.
interject a solution,
Okay,
gentlemen. If I may
okay.
interject a solution about this, you know,
Go
in
ahead.
my
Go ahead.
experience in my experience of being a security guard and as a black security guard, I learned that it is good to be very enlightened and knowledgeable about the law in the county, city, and state which you live in. So I remember I decided to follow a friend of mine, Kwame's advice, telling me to go ahead and check out that Black's Law Dictionary, and also check out
Mm.
the state law
Like,
book by the Attorney General of the state of Arkansas, to be very familiar with the laws, just in case they may try to abuse their authority through their badges and all that. Be very
and
knowledgeable
it.
of the law
Oh, sorry.
of the city, county, and state which you live in. And also, when an officer
Yep.
asks you a question, intelligently ask them, intelligently respond to that question. Because I remember one night I was walking back home from NAPCO to Parkview High School, Little Rock, Arkansas, to my home, right? There was this white police officer that asked me where I was going. I said, well, officer, I'm going home. I'm walking back home from NAPCO back to my house behind Covenant and 24. And then he said, well, thank you for telling me, sir. Have a nice night. See, it all boils
Right,
down
and
to
I agree
perception.
with
It
you.
all boils down to perception, how they perceive you when they approach you. And see, the reason why they respect me because I wasn't dressed like a b-boy. I wasn't dressed like a thugger. I was just like a decent, behaved person. It all boils down to perception, how they
Yeah.
perceive you when they first approach
Well, let me say this. I don't think anybody is saying that Brother Floyd should have been killed, asphyxiated, and choked out there, even if he had went in there and shot some damn body inside the store. I don't think anybody is saying that he should have died because of that. I don't think brothers should die for anything that they do out there in the world. You know, especially when you're talking about, financial crimes, All right, who done walked in the party and didn't mute their damn mic? Who done walked in the party? Mute your mic, man. If you done walked in the party.
I'm muted.
I don't I don't think any brother. Is
you.
that
Well, I'm
Corey?
at home reading this book called The Black Man's Guide Out of Poverty by Aaron Clary. That's what I'm doing.
Yeah, I
Pretty
mean,
good
Well,
book.
I
you
don't
have
think
to.
I can't hear anything he's saying.
anybody believes that Brother Floyd should have been killed out there that day. Like I said, even if he had went in there and shot some damn body in the store. But what I think everybody is trying to get at is, why were the cops there in the first place? Why were the cops called? I mean, that's where people are trying to go. People are getting into the nuances. No, I don't think anyone at this point, for people to say, oh, he didn't deserve to die. That's kind of a straw man at this point, because I don't think anyone believes he deserved to die, no matter what he had did. Even like I said, even if he had went in there and pulled out his knife and stabbed somebody in the head, he shouldn't have died over it. I don't think that's a question anymore. I think we're all past that, whether or not he should have died. But I think what the real problem is the policing and the people who feel the need to call the police. Because if I run a business, all right, I've been running a business for 6 years. All right. And I've received fake bills. The last thing on my mind was to call the cops about it. I mean, it's a $20 bill. I got a fake 20 one time and a fake $100 bill. And the last thing on my mind was calling the cops. I'm looking at the goddamn, especially the $100 bill. I'm looking at that shit like, damn, that's a pretty good one. I might try to pass this shit off my goddamn self. It never crossed my mind to call the police for them to come get the bill. I ended up just taking the fake bills and throwing them away, crumpling them up and throwing them away. I mean, it didn't seem like a police matter to me. That's what I'm getting at. And I think that the police find themselves places where they probably shouldn't be. All right? Like there. I don't think the police should have been there that day. They shouldn't have been. They shouldn't have been there, man, because he hadn't did anything. It's not like he had robbed the store or shot the store up, or, you know, he passed you a fake $20 bill. What did you lose? $20? What'd you lose? $20 off of that? You probably didn't even lose that because he probably went in there and made change with it. He probably went in there and bought something for $5 and you gave him $15 back. So you probably didn't lose nothing but $15, $10, $8, whatever it was. I just don't think that was a police matter. I think that that's something that could have been settled between them two. He could have said, hey, look, man, you gave me a fake 20, motherfucker. So you need to give me that real money back. Unless you're going to go in your car and get a real $20 bill. I think that could have been settled like that, man. You know, that's where I'm at.
The real $20
you know,
out of his
you
wallet.
find these police. Yeah. I mean, you know, the police find themselves, like I said earlier, the police find themselves a lot of times where they shouldn't be. You know how many times I've seen videos of shooting people who are obviously mentally challenged. They have a mental disability. They're going through something. I've seen police shoot these people. And these people are clearly, I can see that, and I'm not even a psychologist. These people are clearly going through a mental episode. Maybe they off their meds or whatever the case may be. But the police are there instead of a counselor, instead of a psychologist or psychiatrist or, you know, a negotiator, anybody. You have the police there. So once you bring the police into some of these things, now it becomes the police matter. And when it becomes a police matter, there's always that threat that the police may kill someone. You understand? The police may hurt someone.
In particular, when a black
and
man
it's
is
usually
involved.
when it's not a police matter. Exactly. That's my thing, man, that we have to stop having police in places where they don't fucking belong, man. Because usually when that happens, that's when somebody end up dead. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, the guy who was running the store that day, he made that into a police matter. And I don't think it was. I don't think it was, man. Over a $20 bill?
No, it wasn't.
Over a $20 bill?
No, it wasn't. And you know, rather not. And for me, this is just me. I don't know if I'm just downplaying this aspect of it, but rather not. Again, I haven't seen any proof anywhere that he knew that he was passing a fake bill. But I think that that's kind of irrelevant. I think that's irrelevant.
I needed my own mic.
You know, I think that that's irrelevant because, again, this man was on video losing his life to a man who was looking down at him losing his life while 3 other officers protected him in doing that and taking his life.
Well, again, I don't
there
think
ain't
you
a goddamn
understand.
thing that nobody can tell me that would remotely justify that.
Well, I think people are confusing it. I'm not
That's where
saying
internal affairs comes in.
I'm not saying that his death was justified in any way. What I'm saying to you is, as black men, I think we all understand that by virtue of the color of our skin, we are viewed as threats by police, by the world, really, not just police, but by everyone. All I am saying is that we should do whatever we can to prevent ourselves from being in situations where cops can take advantage of us in any way. I'm not justifying anyone's murder.
There's really nothing that we can do to prevent.
That's not true. That's absolutely not true.
Take advantage of that.
Well, first of all,
there's nothing that we can do. If they got it in their mind that they're gonna fuck with some niggas today, I'm sorry for saying it like that, but they're gonna fuck with some niggas today.
Okay, but here's my thing though.
If they decide in front of the line at that time, it's your time to
What
get
I'm saying is, if you get fucked with, because I have been fucked with before. I've been harassed before. I've been stopped unlawfully before. I'm still alive talking to you today. That's my point. You know why? It's because I obeyed the commands of the officer. I was respectful, and ultimately I walked home with my life. It's not about a dick measuring contest with the
And
police.
listen to what you're
Do what
saying.
they say
You're
and go
saying
home.
that if everybody just do what you did, then it wouldn't be many deaths.
I'm
It's
saying
because
that
these black
there
niggas
wouldn't
are
be.
getting pulled over and they getting smart with the cops. What
I'm
about
saying,
Philando Castile? What if Philando
okay.
Castile to lose
You
his
know,
life?
Jim, I
There are,
also have another
hold on,
solution for that
yo,
too.
there are 40 million
You know,
black people in
there was a friend of
America.
mine that never been pulled over by cops in his life, and it was
Okay.
because he had that sticker saying he donated money to the police officers' insurance fund.
Right. What
You
I'm
know,
trying to explain is there are 40 million black people. There are 40 million black people in this country. You named one person. We can name a handful of people who have been killed and murdered, or who've been murdered, and I'm sure there are others who haven't been reported. But generally, most of us, we go to work, we go to school, we go to the grocery store, we go to the park with our kids, we go wherever we want, and in most cases, we are not confronted by police. You're talking about isolated incidents
I
compared
know,
to the
but I stay
millions of
away
us.
from.
Okay,
When I see a cop, I go the opposite direction. That's
that's
what I do.
fine. What
I
I'm
go the
saying is,
opposite
in
fucking direction. And
32,
you know what I do? I
okay,
train young black males to do the same
that's
exact
exactly what
goddamn
you
thing.
should be
And when
doing.
they young, I tell them, you know what I tell them? You tell the police that I am a minor and I am not allowed to speak with police officers without my parents.
That's
That's what
exactly
I
what
teach
you
them to
should
do.
be doing.
But that
We're on the
is
same
not.
page.
I know personally at least 5 young men where that didn't work, where the police officer roughed their asses up,
And what I'm
and the
saying,
police are still on the force today.
right. I'm saying to you that we know what the deal is. I'm saying increase your
So why are
likelihood
you
of
sitting and telling
avoiding
us? Why are you sitting and
what?
telling the world that if you just do this, that, and the other, everything is going to be
That's
goddamn
not
peachy
what I'm
great?
saying. For whatever reason, people like to put words in my mouth. I'm saying that it
But that's
increases the
how it's
blood.
being
Hold
portrayed,
on.
but that's
It comes
all I'm
that
saying.
way because
That's how that's how it's coming out.
you're reacting with your emotions, not your head. I'm telling you
I'm not
this.
acting with no
Yes,
it's
emotion.
what
about
you are.
being
You absolutely
proactive,
are.
not reactive.
You just raised your voice. That's emotional. You're getting emotional here. What I'm
I'm
saying
not
to you is
raising my
this.
voice.
You just did. You literally just raised it. What I'm saying to you is this.
Oh my
I
God.
never said that behaving a certain way will.
So speaking firmly,
I never
so
said.
speaking firmly, speaking my
I
position
never
firmly
said.
is raising my voice. You sound
I
you
never
sound like the
said.
corporate America
Yo,
that I work for.
I
I
never
can't speak
said.
firmly. I have no position. I don't have a position
Right.
to
No.
speak my
Okay.
position
What
firmly.
I
Because I'm
understand
saying,
that.
I'm yelling. I do that. I'm being aggressive.
What I'm saying to you
Oh
is,
my goodness.
you did. Your voice went up a few octaves. I'm just saying we can have a civil conversation about this. My point to you is this:
Oh
I
my
never
goodness.
said that behaving a certain way will ultimately prevent cops from fucking with you ever. I'm saying that it increases the likelihood that you will keep your life and your freedom if you behave that way. Now,
Based
it may
on what
not work.
evidence? Based on what evidence?
Oh well,
Because it
nigga.
surely didn't.
Wait.
It surely didn't work for
Let me
Philando
ask you something.
Castile.
Are you
It didn't
alive
work
right
for
now?
Philando
Are
Castile.
you alive right now? Am I alive? Hey, Prophet, are you alive? You got 5 niggas right now talking alive right now. We've all been confronted by police, haven't we?
Oh, many times. Even
Okay
in
then.
uniform.
Okay then.
I've been confronted.
Okay then. So clearly, what I'm saying must work because we're alive. We're not dead, are we?
So I'll go ahead and speak. Well, peace to the chat, peace to Brother X. Always
What's
good to be.
going on? What's going on?
None too much.
What you got for me, man?
So I'm sure at some point.
Hey, BMT, how you doing?
How you doing? How you doing, Edward? It's good to see you, brother. Yeah. X, did
Can
you
you hear
get
me,
that email
BMT?
I sent you? Did you get that email I sent you
Did I get?
about that
You
brother?
sent me a no. I haven't even checked my damn emails today, man. I've
Your
been
job.
sending them. I haven't been checking up the NY. What's going on?
What you thought you saw?
Somebody's Wi-Fi is
That was
fading in
that
and
was
out.
disturbing.
What you
That was
thought you saw happen to George? That ain't going. That ain't going. They're going. You about to see a whole other side of something more darker than that.
Hey, BMT. Maybe he didn't have his pants pulled up, and maybe he was being belligerent to the cops.
So it's no secret. Majority of us men, or when we're raising our sons or nephews, or there's something called we have the talk. And I'm not talking about the birds and the bees talk. If you ever got that talk, but we have the talk on what to do when you encounter the police. Now, I remember I was talking to some young black boys in the service because some people don't get that talk. The white boys are looking at the black boys crazy, like, what's wrong, right? What y'all talking about? But see, the black boys were listening because they understood that, hey, you got a uniform on or some stuff. When you know how some boys get when they get a car, they're gonna want to drive it. They're gonna want to drive that new Mustang, and that was the time the new Mustangs were coming out, or the Challengers and stuff. So the boys, they want to go get those cars, and sometimes that I remember one of the guys said, "Hey, like Sarge, I wasn't doing nothing. I was in the right spot. I did that, but they did not believe that that was my car. They didn't believe that that was my car. Like a boy like me, a man like me could afford it." And I was like, well, such is the world. You know what I'm saying? And we understand, listen, this is the whole point of why we have dark exodus and a lot of stuff. The black man doesn't have the same rules. And I'm not talking on a victim speech, but we don't play on the same rules as everybody else. We just don't. Everybody got a full test board. We got the one with bottle caps and goddamn rocks and tiddlywinks and stuff. We just didn't get a full board. And so we gotta make do. So, it's true. Ed. Come on now. We got
got the twice as good to get the job and 3 times as good to keep it.
yeah, man.
Well,
We got
see, this thing.
go
I
go go.
think that I, I always tell young brothers when I talk to them, like, the idea is to survive the encounter.
Yes.
I mean, I always tell brothers, don't try to hold court on the street. Don't try to, have this debate with the police out there, especially if your ass is caught doing something wrong. Now, if you ain't doing nothing wrong, that's different. But even with that, if you're not doing anything wrong and you feel like this cop is out of pocket, you take that shit up another day. Don't try to debate and hold court, have a court hearing on the street and start talking about all your rights and all this kind of nonsense. Because see, if you do all of that, all that's going to do is inflame the situation. All right. Now, I'm not telling you to tap dance and soft shoe around the police. I'm not telling you not to be a man around the police. I'm not telling you to do none of that shit. You can keep your manhood and still keep your life. All right. I don't believe in holding court on the street, especially if your ass did something wrong. I don't believe in holding court on the street, even if I haven't done anything wrong, because the key is to survive the encounter. Now, as far as Brother George Floyd goes, as Brother Perfect Black said, I didn't see him. From what I seen, I didn't see him do anything to make the cops think that he was going to black out on them, or he was going to do something crazy or wild, anything like that. I mean, I don't know what was said. I don't know what the exchange, because you can say something to certain cops, man, and they'll do certain shit to you. So, I mean, none of us know that. None of us were there. None of us were there. But I think it comes back to my point again. I will keep harping on this point. You always going to have these kind of situations when the fucking cops are somewhere that they probably shouldn't be. You're going to have this shit, man.
And you mentioned surviving the encounter. I said exactly that earlier. But see, there was silence when you said it, but when I tried to explain the same shit, for whatever reason, there was resistance. My point, my I'm sorry, hello?
No, go ahead, Corey. Go ahead.
Okay,
go ahead.
so again,
go ahead, Brother Haywood.
I think people misconstrue what I say, right? If black people, we've always had a healthy mistrust of police, always, and for good reason. What I'm saying to you is that if we allow the mistrust and the hatred that we have for police to influence the way that we interact with them, we may end up like George Floyd. That's what I'm saying. You mentioned surviving the encounter.
So, Mr. Haywood, what you talking about is a mindset, right?
I'm talking about a mindset. I'm not saying that we should be victims or slaves to police, because we're all men at the end of the day. We all have pride. We all have testosterone flowing through our bodies. What I'm saying to you is surviving the encounter should be the most important thing for you. If you have a family, right? If you have a life that you value, then surviving the encounter is the most important thing. You can take legal action afterward. You can file a complaint, do whatever you have to do. But ultimately, getting home is almost like what Denzel Washington said. You want to go to home or you want to go to jail? Or die, right? Those are your options. I'm
Now,
thinking we all want to survive in those situations. So it behooves us to behave accordingly. That's what I'm saying.
so the question is this. The question is this. Why is it that we're always just thankful just to be alive? Like, that's the thing about it, that is very unsettling, why a lot of black men or just people are getting angry. Because now they're like, damn, y'all happy just like I always find it interesting. Some people say they don't ever freak out around a cop. But I would probably want to put that at least a good 96% of black people, black African Americans, feel uncomfortable around cops.
Facts.
Because they just regardless, even we've even seen videos of men who are cops that are black, and they say that they get treated a certain type of way. So, and I'm ex-military, and I can tell you now that we wearing a uniform, these motherfuckers don't give a shit. They still treat you like shit. My daddy told me, oh shit, when we got off the bus, they still talking shit to us. And so, and even when I was wearing the uniform, they still were talking shit to me. So I'm like, well, goddamn, shit ain't never changed. Now, I ain't saying shuck and jive for none of these fools, but I do want better for my son.
Every time I see a police officer approach me, I always ask myself this question: how is that officer going to perceive me when he approaches me?
Right, because like
that's what I mindset I always have in mind when that officer approaches me. How is the officer going to perceive me?
The mere fact that you have to ask yourself that question, that is indicative of the fact that you are getting ready to encounter a threatening person.
Like for me, in my car, I carry. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to be with no rookie white boy. You know what I'm saying? Feel, oh snap, this nigga got a gun. You know what I'm saying?
That's why wind up like Philando Castile.
Right. So I tell my kids, my nephew, a lot of people who are black. Mind you, a lot of us in my era, we carry guns. We live out in the country. You gotta have something. So we already know, like, hey man, like I don't trust them when they tell me reach for the glove box. No, you don't, white boy. Nice try. Oh no, you can go reach. No, that if you think you see something black, your ass might strap. And no, I'm not giving you that shot.
Yeah.
So tell you what, you go to the glove compartment and you reach over there and you go get it, and I'll let them go do it. And they're like, well, sir, I said no, because I don't know what your intentions might be. I don't want you to say you fear for your life. And I usually have my wife or my mother or my brother, somebody on the phone when that happens, because I want to make sure somebody is listening or recording. And sad to say, but as some of us, we got to cover our ass. We have to learn to cover our ass around these kind of people.
But
not everybody's bad, but I'm just saying, stuff is coming out. You got to go see that email I sent you about that brother. There's a reason why they stopped playing cops on TV show. I sent you the footage.
Right. And if I could respond,
and that was horrible. That was horrible. See, I'm gonna let you go. See, when we get into these discussions, okay, when I hear about cases.
Hey, T.P.O.T, can you hear me, brother?
The last one, the most recent one.
Yeah, mute up. Mute up if you're not talking. Mute up if you're not talking. Mute up if you're not talking.
And when I see cases like Philando Castile, I always ask brothers like Mr. Hayward.
Somebody's having trouble with their Wi-Fi.
Can everybody hear me?
Go ahead.
I can hear you.
Sounds like somebody's Wi-Fi is fading in and out.
Okay.
Go ahead, brother.
When I see cases like this and cases like Philando Castile and other ones, I ask brothers like Brother Hayward, what was it that these brothers did wrong that could have saved their life?
Okay, can I answer you? I'm going to answer you. I'm not saying they did anything wrong. What I'm saying to you is that until we can change the narrative, and that won't happen overnight, and it certainly won't happen from us rioting and looting local businesses and police stations. That's not going to get it done. Right? Violence isn't going to get it done.
Respectfully, that doesn't answer my question. Respectfully, that
Right.
does
So
not
hold
answer
on.
my
So hold on.
question.
Let me
I
finish.
asked
Let me
you
finish.
what
Let
these
me
two
finish.
brothers have
Yo,
done
I'm answering your
to
question.
prevent.
What I'm saying to you is this. I'm saying that there's
You
no
changing up.
guarantee that
We
it
gonna get
will.
into this other conversation about the looting and stuff,
Yo,
but I want to deal with this one issue here
what
because
I'm
this,
saying
is-
to,
this is
oh
the
my god.
major thing.
What I'm saying to you is this. There's no guarantee. But until that changes in the interim, it behooves black men to do whatever they can to prevent it from happening if they can. There's no guarantee,
Okay,
but it
so
certainly doesn't help.
for those
Okay.
brothers that have done everything that they could have to prevent that situation and they still come up dead, you have nothing for them?
What I'm saying to you again, the system is what the system is. Until that changes, there will be casualties. But increase your chances that it won't happen to you.
I hope that you keep that example when you start going into the looting.
I just said there will be casualties until the system is changed. In the interim, if you're a black man, you should do whatever you can for you not to be a casualty. That's what I'm saying. Because we know inevitably it might happen.
Well, it does that does nothing. That gives no solace to the families of the brothers who
That's
have done
fine
nothing
about
wrong,
solace, but
but done
you're
everything they
alive right
could.
now.
Hey,
Everything
BNT
they're
and
supposed
Perfect
to have
Blackness, can
done.
you hear me?
Yes.
Brother Hayward, can you hear me?
Yes.
I get
You
what
know,
I
the
I can hear
thing
you.
get.
Go
about
ahead.
dealing with the situation, you got to have a proactive and adaptive mindset when dealing with these situations, especially as an American black man.
And the mindset is
You know, that's
to do
why,
what you can to. The prophet mentioned surviving the encounter.
yeah, surviving the encounter. That's supposed to be part of your proactive mindset when you're out there in the streets and dealing with these police officers. Surviving the encounter and make sure you
Okay,
get
then.
home safe.
Now the thing about it is this. Now you bring up a good point. Survive the encounter. Now here's the thing about it, and I'm gonna show you how they play ball. Like in Charleston, we've already had these riots going on and all this stuff that has happened, right? So now that they
Right.
are feeling like they're losing their funding, right, to certain police stations, guess where they're pulling their money, or they're not going to support.
What?
Now I have it where, and I had a little rant. Some of the black schools are now being shut down because, and I right now we spend 2 hours fighting to keep the black schools in my area open now. They're going to be shutting. Guess what? The white schools aren't getting touched, but the black schools where a lot of black folks work at, they're getting shut down. A lot of black people are going to be without a job. I want to know, and everybody like talking about this little dumb shit. What are we going to tell those black people, those casualties? Because, like I said, when they play systematic games, they play where it hurts. And
That's pretty good chess game they playing.
that's going to be a lot of hungry devils coming up this next year.
You want some more? Give me like 5 seconds to talk, and it takes like 15 minutes.
Y'all brothers get what I'm saying? Y'all know I'm bullshit with
Yeah, I get
y'all.
what you're saying,
There are 6
BMP.
people on the phone.
They're playing the systematic chess game with us.
So police can't get what they want. So guess what? Now all of a sudden, black schools are being shut down. Don't worry, I'm gonna talk about it. But I got the stuff. They didn't want to answer us what's happening to all the black kids' school funding. So we need something here in Black America for us, or there ain't gonna be nothing left for our generation. So then they will have to turn towards whoever can be their blue-eyed Jesus to save them.
You know, BMT, like I said to on the panel tonight with Ramil Amir, sovereignty begins at home and with self. You know, like I always talk about sovereignty, you know, your self-knowledge, your self-accountability, and your self-mastery. Because how can a black man have sovereignty if he can't control the police department, fire department, banks, and hospitals in his own neighborhood?
Right. You ain't lying about that.
And see, that's the thing about politics. Politics is not about a political ideology. Politics is the art and science of influence. And to influence means to be able to affect something indirectly and intangibly without any apparent
Yep.
force or effort.
Well, this is my thing, because I know politics play a big part in policing and all that shit, but when you have these cops out on the street, like the cops who broke down the door at Breonna Taylor's house out there in Louisville, Kentucky, I believe it was. They broke down the door. They were at the wrong place. They were looking for somebody who was already fucking in custody. All right. I think the dude had already been locked up and in jail. They're looking for him. They're looking for drugs. And they bust up in there, start the firing because this brother shoots because he thinks someone's breaking into the crib. And they let off a bunch of shots and they kill this girl. Right?
I'm glad you brought that up.
Now,
right?
for police on the street to do this stuff, right? To do this stuff comes from the top. All right. This isn't just some snap judgment, this motherfucker, today I'm going to kill somebody. No, these are people who have been allowed to do this shit for quite some time because it is allowed from up top. If the commissioner, the chief, or who's ever in charge of that police department has given these cops carte blanche so they can just go and do all this shit. Know how I know? Because you look at that Asian cop and you look at that cop, Chauvin, who put his neck on George Floyd's throat. These cops had numerous complaints of brutality. These cops had caused the goddamn city to be sued before. So this shit comes from the top. And it's not just those 4 cops that were out there that day that has brother George Floyd's blood on their hands. That whole fucking police department, the commissioner, the fucking chief, the fucking mayor, all the motherfuckers connected to that police department played a part in this shit. All right?
And that's why,
it's just
that's why black people can be more involved into the county and city government and vote those guys out, vote the police chief out and vote the police commissioner out. Being more involved in the local politics of your city and county and state.
Chauvin had 20 years on the force, 18 complaints, only 2 disciplines.
Exactly.
So he damn near averaged a complaint a year. Damn near average a complaint a year. 2.
It's coming from the top. The top brass allows this shit.
Exactly.
Because if there wasn't a culture of this kind of shit, these cops wouldn't believe that they could do it. Because I'm a true believer in something called personnel is policy, right? When these cops are doing all this shit, that's over the pale, out of the scope of their job. They know they're fucking up. They know they're
who's the head of the personnel that's allowing this to happen.
Yes, they know they're breaking rules, man. They know they're violating people's rights. They know that shit. But you know what else they know? They know that not a fucking thing is going to happen when they do it. Why? Because when they get back to that fucking barracks, when they get back to the precinct, the motherfucker who's over them ain't going to have shit to say. They know that.
Cover it up.
And you want to keep an employee that get in trouble, but he's a good employee?
And see, and that's the problem that I have with the narrative that, well, if we just do this, if we just do, don't get me wrong, I'm all for. I teach young black men this, do whatever you can to, survive the encounter. But again, when we start leading off with this stuff, well, we just do this, we need to do that. I have a problem with that because when we look at your Officer Chauvin and the rest all over the nation, when you look at examples like this, and we're not talking about rookies, we're not talking about goddamn rookies, we're talking about people who have experience with brutalizing people and getting off.
Mm-hmm. Talking about people that have been on 15 to 20 years on the force, right?
No amount of personal responsibility can prevent a Mr. Chauvin. None. We're talking about a goddamn system that sees black life as something less than and not as important and see us as fucking threats and targets. It's open.
Yeah, well,
fucking
That's why the
I've
people in
never
that
been
city and
one.
county need to come up with a petition to get the police chief and the police commissioner out of office. Sign a petition
No,
I've
this,
n-
no,
and
this
make
is a
sure they
I've
vote them
never
national
out.
been
thing.
Vote them
one.
out the
This is
next
a national
election.
thing.
Vote them out of office.
Look,
national thing.
understand this. Officer Colvin, he was just a microcosm of what the fuck is going on in this whole goddamn nation.
Yes, he's just a He's a representative.
He's
See,
not a one-off.
I'm a I'm I'm a true believer that if all black men just walk around and be good black men, I don't think that's the answer.
No,
I think the answer is changing how policing is implemented. I think that is, and even with that, because even if you go into every damn police department in this country right now, revamp it, fire all the cops that's in there, bring new cops in, give them training and do all this bullshit, tell them what not to do, give them a new list of protocols, you know what's going to happen? Black folks are still going to get killed.
yep.
Because see, I say
You
again,
still have some bad apples in the bunch.
personnel is policy. All right. They say fuck the policy. If you got, because a personality is the policy. Because I say again, these cops know that they're breaking the law. These cops know that they're violating people's rights. These cops know that they are doing shit that is totally out of the goddamn, totally out of the cops' manual of what they're supposed to do. They know that when they're doing it. But see, their personality trumps that. It trumps the policy. So even if you change personnel, in all those precincts and get new cops in there, and like I said, give them a new kind of training, you revamp how you train the police, you revamp them on how to deal with the community, you revamp them on how to deal with black folks. You revamp them on that. And still you'll be lucky if the number of black folks getting killed goes down. You'll be lucky if that happens. If you do all of that shit.
And brother, that's one of the biggest reasons why I got a problem whenever I hear people talk about training. If you are an adult, okay, you are a grown man, and you've been you went through the police academy, and you need training on how to treat people. Let's slow that down for a second. You're an adult person. You are an adult. You're a grown man. You get through the police academy, so therefore you're a professional now, and you need training on how to treat people you need interpersonal training. That's a problem.
Well, I wanna hit at something, and this is something towards. I want to bring up something, and since this is Black Exodus, I remember when we talked about and I got to bring it up, the Ahmaud Arbery case, and everybody believed, oh, that guy was crazy for fighting. That guy should have ran.
Oh, yeah.
And I remember we went over the first videotape, the original. And over that time period, the tape had been changed consecutively. Actually, they had to come out and say that's not even a real tape that was getting passed around. The real one is now pulled off of it's been pulled off of YouTube. You're not even allowed to really see it unless you're in law enforcement. But they found out now that that both DAs were corrupt. Now they're under investigation by the FBI. That literally
BT, those two guys that killed off, but they were friends with the D. They relate to the DA, right?
Yeah.
The
father is friends with the DA.
And
right.
The
He is a good friend of their family.
Former cop, and he worked for the DA.
But
okay.
The thing about it was that really broke my heart was trying to get our own brothers and people to convince us that, hey, let's not demonize our own in front of this white man, because literally They were pulling up our talking points on our channel about him.
Exactly.
Mm.
And
I
I
have
said,
people.
you got to be
That's why.
careful.
That's why I'm teaching my nieces and nephews martial arts right now.
But I'm
So they can
saying,
defend themselves when they need to.
right, okay, like everybody said, well, why did he run? Well, they found out that they were calling him the N with the R while screaming at him
Right.
because they actually played the whole audio. And also we also found out that the man, they were literally they shot him 3 times, as well as they did a lot of things to that man. They hit him with a car. They found his body was hit by a truck. Yet somehow he was still running. They did a lot of things to him, and all he
So
was
first they
trying
tried to run him over with that truck.
Yeah. So the thing about it, and we used to always say, why did he run? Why did he run? Well, he kept getting hit by a dang truck. They were trying to push him off the side of the road. Well, he was trying to stay away. So they've been doing that to him for an hour. And the only thing that kind of hurt, was like, that's why I try to say, black men, we got to be more mindful of how we speak over each other. Not to say, listen, man, hey, if you're wrong, you're wrong. But I'm also like, we got to be more mindful of now, if you notice, all these things are coming out since COVID. Like now, all these things are coming out, and we're now starting to see all these things starting to come ahead. And you gotta be, and so of course we now know they don't mind. I think one of the officers already got bail. He's already bailed out of jail. Just like you remember that white woman, she we don't even know how she beat her stuff, but these people play on a high frequency of looking like they will be looked at as a victim. We look at each other
manipulation.
We look at each other as terrorists right off the rip. They don't mind pulling up our past history. They'll say, "Well, Jason Botham had a joint in his bag. Who gives a shit? Like, what does that have to do with his case?"
That's where the credibility factor comes in.
Right. We ain't catching the okie doke that we always know. And I'm not pro-black, but I'm like, well, damn, what are the odds if they can destroy your name? It's easier to destroy you. So then the jury will automatically go in with a bias. Pulling up the man's arrest record don't mean shit to me, because goddamn it, that ain't got nothing to do with what happened on that damn pavement. It had nothing to do with it.
It has nothing to do with the current situation.
Right, but I'm seeing a lot of men and women pulling up. Oh, he did it. Yeah, he did his time.
Well, that's common though. I mean, whenever the cops kill somebody, the first thing they're going to do is run the person. They're going to run the person. They're going to check their body for drugs. Because what we have to get away from is thinking that the police are there's some different system. They're not, man. They are part and parcel of the system. They have access to things that the system has. So of course they're going to run your record, see if you ever been arrested, see if you ever been to jail, if you ever been to prison, if you ever got caught with dope, if you had any warrants. That's standard. They're going to do that. They're going to run your damn record, okay? Because see, they're looking to find something so they can say, well, this person had a propensity for drug use. This person had a propensity to carry guns. This person had a propensity for stealing, for robbing. So therefore,
credibility and the character factor.
Yes. Yep. Therefore, this person might have had a propensity for violence. That is why they do that. And like I said, it comes from the top. It's not just these fucking officers. It's just that they are the people pulling the trigger. They are the people wielding the billy club and the taser and the gun and the knee to the throat. They're just the people doing it physically. That shit ripples all the way from the top, because it's not just, people want to put it as this white cop thing. And I understand that in some instances it is, but it is a fucking police culture, man. It is a fucking cancer within the culture of policing itself. I don't think it's just, I don't just think it's this this whole white thing, because black cops kill motherfuckers too. They kill motherfuckers too.
But see, they go to jail.
So
one in Minneapolis, in Minnesota, he's in jail right now for killing a white woman.
yeah,
And he didn't get the benefit of the doubt. I didn't see the black community coming to his aid and all of that. Look, you know, and for me, you're right, brother X. It is a policing thing and all of that. But for me also, this also is a two-pillar thing. And my Aubrey case, it brings that into, and it brings the how Black Americans see ourselves in shining light and how we treat it. I say we in general. I don't mean me, but I mean we in general. How we treated him in terms of, oh, well, why was he doing that? What was he doing that? And then when facts start coming out, okay, and for me, I was one of the main ones. I was one of the people saying, you know, we need to look at the police report, because I read the police report. There were a lot of people said that and the owner said, well, he didn't take anything. And matter of fact, there were a lot of people that have been in and out of that
Wasn't
house.
Aubrey checking out a job opportunity out there?
Say it again.
Was he checking out a job opportunity out there, like a construction job out there?
He was just looking around like everybody else
well.
was. He was just security. You know, tell him what that. I don't know what he was looking for. But my thing was, why are we? Because there was a lot of black folks. I was on the air, and I was on the air with I'm not gonna say no names, but I was on the air with folks arguing with me that they blamed him for the whole situation because he was fighting. That he didn't. That he should have ran. And I asked them specifically. So you're blaming him because he took the fight route as opposed to the flight route? Yes.
He was fighting to defend himself.
Exactly.
Because black folks were the aggressor.
But see, the problem is, this is the reason why I say this goes beyond just white police. This goes to a white culture. You got three men who
dominant Caucasian culture.
Right, who self-deputized themselves, stalked a black man, and murdered him. And because the father had a lot of ties with who was a former police or who was former law enforcement down there, and then who turned work for the DA for the office down there, they covered this up until the video came out.
Just like in the days of Jim Crow.
See, my problem is, for me, this goes beyond just the policing issue, even though the policing issue is an issue. The culture of policing and all that, that's a problem. But this is a racial American problem. And it is filtered into, it is leaked into the bad policing culture that goes all the way back to the slave catching days. My thing is this is the American culture which gives energy, which gives fuel to the terrible policing culture that goes all the way back to the slave catching days. Because we had slave catchers before we had law enforcement.
Well, don't you believe that if, for instance, like where I live, right? I live in the Queen City. The chief of police here, Chief P.O.T, is a brother, right?
I remember when my mom would tell me stories about my great-grandfather, William Hespeth, part black and part Tata. He was one of those few black people who weren't scared of white folks back then during Jim Crow. I remember when two white boys was up there messing with my mom and my auntie when they were coming home, and then my great-grandfather came out on this porch in his rocket chair and had the buckshot shotgun out there. And when those white boys up there come,
we lost him. Yeah, we lost him. Yeah, but what I was saying was this. Do you think that if, like I said, where I live at, the chief of police, the motherfucker who run the police department, is a brother, right? And he's known for getting out in the community, in society, and talking to folks, and talking to the leaders, and talking to youth and all that kind of stuff. And not only that, he has implemented a thing where all the cops wear body cams, they must be on, and all that kind of stuff. Now, we've had, since I've been living here, Okay, since I've been living in North Carolina, I know about 4, yes, 4 people that have been killed by the police since I've been living here, and I've been living here since 2014. Now, all 4 of those people who have been killed, of course, there was marches, and people was going crazy, and there's these giant protests going on. All that stuff happened. But what didn't happen was the cops kind of fell back and followed the police, because some of those cops got arrested. The chief did arrest 2 of them. Now, the one person that didn't get charged, they didn't charge that cop because somebody ran at him with a butcher knife and stabbed him and he shot him. So, of course, they're going to say, okay, that was justified. Then there was another one where they were robbing a store and they jumped out of the store and they shot at the police. The police shot back and killed them. Those 2 cops, nothing happened to those 2 cops. But those other 2, they actually got arrested. They got arrested. The chief arrested them himself. And when he arrested them, he came out and he said that, hey, they are criminals. They have committed a crime, allegedly. They are under arrest. Now, what that tells everybody else in that police department is, hey, you fuck up, you going down. And let me tell you something. Ain't nobody else been killed here since then. Since that cop got arrested, and I'll tell you, it was Jonathan Farrell that they killed. All right, they killed a brother named Jonathan Farrell. And since that cop got arrested, ain't been no more. Well, yes, there was one police killing where a brother had a gun. He had a gun, and that one is under investigation right now. That happened about 3-4 months ago. I forgot all about that. But he had a gun. He had a gun, and the police shot him at the store, and they investigating that, and they have taken that cop off the force. All right. So when we talk about policing, especially policing black folk, when we talk about policing black folk, I think that police departments have to have someone inside that department that says, hey, look, do not go out here violating motherfuckers' rights.
And that doesn't take legislation, does it?
No, it does not.
It didn't take legislation, did it? It didn't take nobody, sit down and pontificate the finer points of the law and pass some fancy bill. And all it took is just, proper execution of the laws that's already on the books, like, manslaughter, assault, murder. Just proper and equal execution of the law. You don't need no discussions on that.
No, you don't need no laws.
Exactly.
All you need is somebody in charge. The person you answer to that's in charge, you need to know that that person isn't putting up with your cop bullshit, because that makes all the difference. If you are a person, and that's with any job, not just a police officer, if you know that your supervisor, your manager, your director is going to let you fuck off, you probably going to fuck off. But if you know that your boss is no nonsense, they don't play no games, he'll fire your ass if you do anything. If you want that job, you're going to do all the shit you're supposed to do to make sure you keep that job. And I don't think the cops are any different. I think that the reason why these cops do the shit they do is because this shit comes from up top. It's because the motherfuckers who are in charge of these police officers go for this shit. They cover this shit. They enable it. They enable it. Because when they go into that briefing before they hit the street, and that captain or that lieutenant or whoever's talking to them in that briefing room before they hit the street say, hey, look, don't go out there fucking with people. Go out there and do your fucking job. Don't be violating motherfuckers' rights, so you got to answer to me. You think those cops are likely to go out there and shoot somebody dead?
Nope.
If
Not
they hear
especially
that
if they
before
know,
they leave?
especially if they know they're gonna be behind bars. Hell no.
Exactly. So, I mean, there, like I said, I'll say again, man, there is a fucking cancer inside of a lot of these police departments. And is it every single cop in the fucking building? Of course not. That would be ridiculous to say that every single cop in there done killed somebody, because that's not true. But there are cancers.
I say every single one of the police precincts there's a cancer. Maybe
Yes,
not every
there is a
individual
cancer.
cop, but not. But
Yeah, but
I
there's
think
a
every
cancer in police culture. There is a cancer there, and there is a mind state that says we can go out here and do whatever we want with impunity, and they wouldn't believe it. They would not believe that shit. Yep, they wouldn't believe it unless that belief was getting reinforced by somebody up top. Is reinforcing that. Somebody's reinforcing that belief that they can do whatever the hell they want, kill folks, choke folks, violate people's rights, trump up charges, get bad warrants and all this kind of bullshit. Someone is reinforcing that belief. Someone's doing it. Someone's doing it.
So the thing about it is this, I'm gonna ask my mom to do an interview. She used to be a cop, and whenever I asked her, like, why didn't you stay with it? You know what I'm saying? But she just said it didn't feel right for her to be a cop. You know what I'm saying? But and the thing about it is you got to understand that to go against the system. But I went to law. I took some criminal justice classes, and we had a police chief, and she said, well, what do you want to do when you get out the service? I said, well, I'm gonna go be a cop. That's naturally most infantrymen go be. Usually when you get out the infantry, or you get out, or you stop with like that type of force, you go into like law enforcement. But the thing about it, she said, don't think you're going to change the world. Now, I didn't understand why she said that, but I did after a while, after talking to my cousin, that some of them, some minorities or some people, they see what goes on, but they fear if I say something or turn it into internal affairs, or you know what I'm saying, say about it, they'll come after me, or they'll set me up, they'll throw me under the bus. And so it's the fear of how we got the don't snitch rule. They got that of don't tell on the blue shield rule.
That's a no snitch rule too.
Right. So they got that movie Super Coat starring Al Pacino.
Right. So they won't ever tell on their own, even though they know, like, dang, I feel like hey man, I don't think, shut up. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you ain't supposed to be over here. We know we ain't supposed to be messing with this team. We know we up our schedule. You know what I'm saying? One guy, he got found out. Literally, thank God for the neighbor. He was going behind and sleeping with a woman, and the woman, she, her husband was locked up, but the cop was threatening her, saying that I'll make your man's life live in hell. So, the only way that he got caught was because his girl, she told her man, who was an inmate, because he was close for parole, he didn't want him to get trouble. But the thing that came out, we found out all about it, because the man, he got caught that he was actually soliciting prostitution with women and having sex with them. Like, he would know when their man was going to be getting out, and he would fuck with them. Now this is the dude that he had no business being on our side of town. Didn't need to be around us, but he was fucking with women that he knew that their men were locked up, threatening that I can make their life a living hell and keep them in there forever. So we know that so many people, they have
send access to the system to make your life. Mind you, this was a lieutenant. This wasn't no little bozo or no private or no corporal. This was a lieutenant, so he had rank. So that right there, and I mean that was pretty big in our town, that this man was actually fucking over other men, and this was a black man that was doing this to his own black men. So sometimes, and I agree with you, X, it's not always a white man doing it. It's something about that uniform, and I say like this: when they get power, they feel like, yo, I could be God. I could do whatever I want. We're gonna believe these people, and ain't nobody can tell me a goddamn thing. And
they get the God complex.
Right. When you know that you can instill fear in men and women, and I'm not saying that we're afraid of them, but they know, like, we know that some of our young men and women, they like, who's gonna believe my word versus that of a cop? Come on now, we all heard that.
Yes, we have.
That of a cop. Because usually when them people come over there and they can be dead wrong, they still are gonna believe their people. Even though they know, hey, something about this situation looks shady as fuck. But I'm supposed to believe, man, that's my partner. It's like training day.
You know, DMT, I remember a long time ago when my homeboy tried to get me to join the police, I told him this: I'd rather have the police chief and the police commissioner in my pocket than join the police force. I told him that a long time ago. I'd rather have the police commissioner and police chief in my pocket.
That's a smart way to be right there.
Why
be a part of them when you can just buy them?
I've had these cop discussions before because my brother's a cop in New York and my cousin is a New York State trooper. So I mean, I've talked to them. You know, I fuck with them and I tell them that their job ain't shit and all that kind of stuff. But I mean, and my brother, my cousin, he's been a cop. He's been a cop. He should be retiring soon. He's been in almost 20 years. And my brother, he's been doing it for about 10 years. So, you know, they old school cop veterans. They've been on the beat a while. And I tell them, I'm like, I said, when y'all out there doing what y'all do, man, do y'all motherfuckers violate people's rights? And, you know, they know I do this shit. So they're like, no, we don't want to end up on your damn show. Yeah. I said, but fine. I said, fine. I said, fine, that y'all don't violate other people's rights. That's a good thing. But what do y'all do when y'all see y'all compadres, y'all co-workers doing it?
Oh, boy.
What do y'all do? And you know what I heard? Fucking crickets.
Exactly.
Crickets, man.
Crickets. Can I please tell you what officers? I can tell you what officers that I know who are officers now, and I knew them before they were officers. And they told me that when they got in, they see stuff, but they are afraid to actually say anything. Even though here in Chicago, they have anonymous sources, they have anonymous reports and all of that, but it ain't really anonymous. They know exactly where it's coming from. And they are afraid to do anything to jeopardize their own career, so they don't say shit. Even people
that's why I want it, man.
This is what officers told me to my face. Guys that I know good, but guys that I've known before they were officers.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to get Cariol Holloman on, man, because, you know, I mean, I've spoke to her before, and you know, I mean, y'all can go back in my archives and y'all can see where I
really want to listen to her.
Yeah, I interviewed her a while back. She was on my radio show back in like 2014, 2015, I think it was. So if she don't come back tonight, I don't know if she's coming back tonight or not, because she's tied up with her grandbabies and she can't get them to go to damn sleep. But y'all go back in my archives, man, and y'all can see where I interviewed her. And
have you interviewed Charles Faulkner? I don't know if you have or not.
Well, I've spoken to Brother Faulkner.
Should be on this panel tonight.
I've spoken to Brother Faulkner many times. I'm very familiar with Brother Faulkner.
I've been on the panel with him, and he's a cool guy. I don't.
Oh yeah, he is. He is.
He's a cool guy.
Absolutely, he is.
I think
absolutely
he
is.
Right. He's a cool guy, but I had some hard questions for him too, but he didn't shy away from him either. So,
No. He don't. I brought Officer Faulkner. That's right. I had Brother Faulkner on a show one night where I had, because what a lot of people don't know about T.P.O.T, I'm gonna give y'all a little bit of history. When I first started, that's all I did. I covered police brutality cases, killings, all that shit. That's all I did when I first started doing this shit. So over the course of many years, I have had many mothers of people who have been killed by the police. I have had Gina Best on my show. I've had Melissa McKinney's on my show. Monteria Robinson has been on my show. I mean, countless. I can't even remember them all. I've had at least 10. I have at least 10 mothers who have their children have been killed by police.
Yeah, I remember.
Have been on my show. Yeah. And I had officer. The most recent was Kendra Brown. Kendra Brown was on my show too. About 3-4 months ago, her son got killed by the police too. The police was chasing him, and he ran in the street and got hit by a car. And the police was chasing after him. She was the most recent one. She was on my show about maybe 4 months ago. But I digress. Now, when I think that was Monteria Robinson I had on that night. And I had Brother Faulkner on at the same time. And actually, she was giving him, she was doing like a Q&A with Brother Faulkner, because she was asking about, why did the police do this kind of stuff? Now, mind you, her son had got killed by the police. They had shot her son 52 times, blew his hands off, blew his arm off, all kinds of crazy shit. I mean, y'all got to go on my archives and y'all see all that stuff, man, what I'm talking about. But she was on, and Brother Faulkner was on with her, and I actually got to talk to Brother Faulkner about this whole police brutality, wrong warrants showing up at the wrong place, all that shit. So you look into my archives, you'll see the Brother Faulkner. He was on the show that night when I had Monteria Robinson on. So
Brother Faulkner, he's a good officer, man. I wish more black officers. I wish there were more officers like him, and in particular more black officers, because I've heard him on other panels. I've been on one panel with him. He's a good guy. I had some tough questions for him, but he answered all of them, and he didn't shy away from anything.
Look, he said on the AWP panel that that officer that did that to George Floyd should burn in the lowest pits of hell. That's what he said about that cop that killed George Floyd. They need to burn in the lowest pits of hell.
But we talked on art, and I think me and him went over the protests, and we had it where I guess a few people going around talking about the protest stuff, and I broke it down. I said, no, this is what we do. This is what those who've been to the protest do, and this is what the cops do. And the minute I said that, he jumped right on. He said, BMT, thank you. You're like one of the few that told the truth about what goes on. And I'm like, nah, listen, there are some who literally are trying. You know what I'm saying? That are trying. And, when you put out false narratives, you make it harder or make them more resentful, because they're like, damn, granted, I'm trying to get in the system to watch your back. Don't make it harder for me. You know what I'm saying? And, and I know a few good cops that, that literally they do things for boys, a lot of black boys, and get no respect at all. And you know what I'm saying? And there's a cop, and he's a friend. He's a white dude. I can't tell you how many black boys he has literally. They supposed to either go to jail when that baby mama there be calling the police. He said, "Listen, I'm going to give you 30 seconds to go get your bag and get out. So that way I don't have to take you behind bars and that be the end of your life." And he tries. You know what I'm saying? And he literally tries. He don't try to grab no guns. He don't try to go upside no head. He don't try to help brothers with child support, try to get them a job. There are some, but there's it's like there's not enough of them. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. It's not enough for Charles. It's
That's
not
sort of
enough.
like exceptions to the
Not
rule.
enough.
Right, right.
Right. Charles Faulkner is the exception. There's just not enough for them.
Yeah,
It's not
but
enough.
when you're talking about law enforcement, man, and being a cop or whatever you're doing, I mean, those type of jobs, man, that's not what you do, man. That has to be who you are. I think the problems start when people take the job and that's just what they do. You know what I'm saying? If a cop is what you are, you're probably a little different. I mean, it's like I said, I mean, my brother's a police officer, my first cousin's a police officer, and it's kind of who they are. I guess that's why they've never shot anyone, they've never killed anyone, they've never choked anyone. Because if they do, I will have their ass right up here on the T.P.O.T YouTube page. I will. But
Hey,
they
Brother
haven't.
Prophet, have you seen this movie
They
called
haven't.
Dragonheart?
They ain't killed nobody. They ain't shot nobody or choked nobody as of yet.
You know
Go
what I think
ahead.
they did?
Have you seen this movie called Dragonheart, Brother Prophet?
No, I haven't.
Talks about the
Lost you, man.
I think
Knight's
that they
sword defends the helpless. Knight's strength helps the weak.
you broke
Knight is
out for it, bro.
Lost him again. Go ahead, Perfect Black.
Well, I think, and
because back
I
in ancient
mean it.
times, those that defended the people had a code. Like the Bushido code of the samurai and the knighthood and all that. They had a code that they
So
lived
you
by.
coming? Hold on. You coming in and out, so we only getting like parts of your sentence.
Oh, okay.
So we not getting a full understanding because it's like, well,
And then
I'm sorry about
and
that.
then the people coming up. So we're only getting bits and pieces of your sentence. You might have to drop down and come back up. You know how StreamYard is, man. It's just shit is crazy.
Yeah. I'll do that, brother. Hold
Go ahead, Perfect Black.
Yeah, this is what I think. With in terms of the hiring process, and I mean this with all sincerity. I don't mean this in a joking way when I say this. I really do mean this. I honestly do believe that they should really inquire about that particular officer's high school life, because it seems that a lot of these officers who are people who are officers, they weren't really the choice type of people in high school. They were picked on. They weren't on the football team. They were pretty weak. They were the ones that you would put in a damn
Perfect
goddamn
Black with some proper. Can you hear
locker.
me now?
Yeah, we
go
can
ahead.
hear you. I can hear you.
Yeah. I remember this movie called Dragonheart that starred Dennis Quaid and Sean Connery as Draco, and it talks about
I've
the knight's
seen that.
code, and it talks about where a knight is called the valor, a knight's sword defends the helpless, a knight's strength upholds the weak, his heart knows only virtue, and his words speak only truth, and a knight's wrath undo the wicked. And I remember the scene in Excalibur where Merlin was asked what's the most important virtue of knighthood, and he said truth, because he said with a lie, man murders the world. And I studied Bushido martial arts for a while, and that was one of the most important parts of Bushido, the way the warrior is true.
Mm-hmm. Well, they don't have too many warriors really in the police department. I can promise you that.
I think Charles
Yeah,
Faulkner is one of
man.
those warriors you're talking about.
Huh?
They don't.
I think Charles Faulkner is one of those warriors you're talking about. He does live according to a code.
Well, no, that's why I said they don't have too many warriors in the police department. They got too many. They got way too many people in the police department who were picked on, who were not picked by the prom queen, and who were rejected by everybody. And so when
So
they
you're talking
got
about
older,
incels with badges, right?
that's what I think were most of the people who are police officers, including the man who's going to get time now. Judging by his body physique and all of that, he's a simp.
Right.
Take away his gun and the badge, Take away his gun and the badge. I can walk. I can't walk no more than about 20 feet outside and find somebody who can whoop his ass.
You know, my homeboys back there would call them punks with badges.
So, like I said, I think that, and again, I mean this with all sincerity. I don't mean this in a joking way. I really do believe that when police officers are being considered for when people who apply to be a police officer, I think a similar type of background check should go into like when you go into the military. I know when I went to the army, man, I was told by a lot of folks, man, they went to go and interview me. They went to go and interview me. People in high school
Yeah,
and all.
they check your criminal history and your medical
They,
history.
well, no, they checked every goddamn thing. They went to go knocking on people's neighbors' doors behind my ass.
Oh,
So I think that they should do that with police officers. Hey, was he picked on
Yeah.
when he was in high school? Yeah, he was kind of picked on. Yeah, we're not gonna hire that motherfucker.
in other words, check out his
He's
psychological and psychiatric
he's
profile.
likely gonna have a bone to pick with alpha males.
Well, I'm pretty sure that there is some prerequisites they have to meet, but I think that they're not deep enough. I mean, I think the psychological
you'd be surprised
psychological
just how
evaluation
shallow those
piece.
You'd be surprised at just
You
how
know,
shallow those requirements are, because
yeah,
in here in Chicago and when I lived in Florida, I was propositioned both times to be a police officer, and I was damn near guaranteed to be a police and a sheriff. I turned them down. I have no interest in being in law enforcement. None. It's just the
yeah.
wrong
They need
type
to.
of people, the wrong mental, the wrong people are being or who are in law enforcement. They don't have the right mental makeup to even deal with people, to even deal with themselves. They don't have the right
So they have a lack of
makeup
social
to
skills,
masturbate correctly, much less deal with people.
lack of social intelligence skills.
Yeah. Well,
Exactly.
if you went to the police department, right? I mean, probably probably a third, if not more, of those people that are in there have no business being law enforcement officers, man.
That's
They
the
have
point
no
that I'm
business.
making.
They
That's the
have no
exact point
business being a police officer. They should be doing something else. They should be like a carpenter or a plumber or an electrician or some shit like that.
or somebody that's
They have
selling loose
no
squares on the
one.
street.
You know, they have no business being a fucking police officer, because a lot of them, you know, a lot of them don't really have the personality for it.
Or the people
You
skills.
know,
The basic
yeah, they
people
don't have the they don't have the basic people skills. You know, they have bad bedside manners. You know, they have fucking they have all this animosity and bullshit built up right off the top. You know, all and being a police officer is a people's job. You're going to be dealing with people all the time. All the time. So,
Hey,
I mean, if
T.O.P.,
you're a
you remember
person
that movie Deep Cover?
who's picked that
Oh,
career, you need to know how to deal with folks. If that's the career that you picked, you need to know how to deal with folks, because see, that's what you're going to be doing. That's going to be the bulk of your job. You're going to be dealing with the good, the bad, the ugly, and the indifferent. All right.
right.
So
that's the
if you're
reason why
not
I
a person who's suited for that, you probably shouldn't be there.
Hey,
that's
T.O.P.
precisely
and the Perfect
that I
Blacks. Y'all
say.
remember that movie Deep Cover, starring
Yeah,
Lawrence Fishburne?
yeah.
You remember when that white dude came in there and said, "Yeah, Officer So, can you tell me the difference between a black man and a nigger?" He said, "I don't know." I said, "Well, most niggas don't." And then he asked the second dude. He said, Officer Floyd, you know the difference between a black man and a nigger?" And they said, "Who the hell you think you're talking to?" And then he asked Lawrence Fishburne's character. He said, "Officer Stevens, do you know the difference between a black man and a nigger?" He said, "The nigger's the one who wouldn't answer that question." And then the dude smiled and said, "Okay, I found the right man for the job." And he told him, "Say, hey man, you fit the perfect profile to be an undercover cop. But a lot of these other cops, they be on the street and they think about home and they end up dead because they forget where they were at."
Yeah,
But
but
then he
see,
told him, you won't forget.
in that
Yeah.
movie, Deep Cover, Lawrence Fishburne,
Hmm.
when you really think about it, he was a precise type of cop that Black America really don't want really being cops.
Right. That's true.
He was good for the movie, but he don't want. He's not the type of cop that, at least in that movie, in
Well, he
the
was
movie.
also good. He's also good for undercover because he was dealing with criminals, drug dealers and everything.
But
So he was the perfect undercover cop, but not the perfect public cop.
he wasn't a good cop for the people. But
No, he wasn't.
like I was going back to what Brother X was saying
Yeah.
about the people skills, and this is what I was saying earlier on, that if you're a grown man and you have made it through the police academy and you want to be a cop, you want to be a police officer, well, you're going to be dealing with the public all the time, and you need interpersonal skills, you need interpersonal training, that's a problem.
Yeah.
That's what the old white dude tried to tell him in that movie Colors, that you're going to need to have a certain personality and intelligence to deal with these folks on the street. That's what he talked to him about in that movie
It's
Colors.
not even on the street. It's just interpersonal interpersonal skills. If you don't know how to deal with people on a basic level, you have no business being a cop. It doesn't matter what social what social background you come from. If you don't have basic, and I have to say this, basic interpersonal skills, if you need training on that, and you
don't need to be there.
You've made it through the academy, you have no business being a cop.
Right.
And they need to tighten up, for lack of a better term, tighten up their hiring practices to find that. And again, I'm not joking when I say this. It may seem like it, but I'm not joking when I say this.
So they need to have a deeper psychiatric evaluation then.
Well, yeah, that too. But these psychological things, anybody can trick them. They should start investigating these prospective applicants, these prospective officers or officer cadets. They should start really investigating their high school years, and it'll give them a whole realm of how that person is going to be.
Because those high school years really show you
if they were the high school outcasts, if they were the beta males and all, whatever you want to call them,
or they were the nerds,
or the nerds and all of that, if they were picked on, if they were constantly thrown into lockers, if they were the type that was duct taped around the goddamn football goalpost and all that, they have no business being officers.
Right.
That's true.
I don't care how smart they are. I don't give a damn how high the IQ is.
They would have been better off working behind the desk in the corporate office than being a police officer.
I'm sorry.
Better off working in the goddamn sewers somewhere in New York City, but that's a good point to end it on, man. I'm about to wrap this up.
Yes, sir.
I don't think Mrs. Horne is coming on. I'm probably gonna have to call her or something like that. I will get her on.
I really wanted to hear that conversation. I really did.
Go ahead, man, and check out my archives, man, because I have an interview with her from like 2015 or 2016 that she was on my radio show, and it is on my channel. You can hear her story, man. You can hear what she went through. I don't want to give too much away because it is quite compelling what she went through and what happened to her, that day and the many days to follow. I really want to get her on.
Her name is
Cariol. Her name is Cariol. 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 Cariol Holloman-Horne. You Google her, she'll come up. This shit ripped straight from the headlines.
Cariol Holloman-Horne, right?
Yep.
Okay.
You Google her, she'll come up.
And Horne is spelled Horne, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So Cariol Holloman-Horne.
That's her name.
Try to get on again, brother. Try to get on again, brother X.
Yeah, I mean, I'm in contact with her. I mean, I have a personal phone number and stuff like that. So, I'm gonna try to catch her day that she ain't got the grandbabies, I guess, because she had told me that she had, a few of her grandbabies. so it was going to kind of hard, but she was willing to, come on anyway. But I'm gonna have to catch her when she ain't got her grandbabies or something like that, and get her up on here and let her, tell her story. But like I said, you can go into my archives, and I do have an interview with her where she's on the show and she's talking about what happened to her, because this happened in like I think somewhere between 2006 and 2008. So it's been a while, but she's always willing to tell the story, and there's a lot of nuances to the story, that I didn't mention tonight because I wanted her to tell it. But if you look in my archives and pull up that show, you can, you'll see, you'll see what she was talking about, because she was
So
on the
this is the
show
lady police
that
officer that
whole
prevented
night.
two officers from beating up a suspect, right?
Yep. Yep. And the dude that she the brother's name is Neal Mack. As a matter of fact, the last time she was on my show, he was on too. I had him on as well. The brother that she that she saved, yeah, he was on too. I was trying to reach out to him as well. I couldn't get hold of him. I tried because I wanted her and him on the show, because I felt like it would have been, it would have been suitable, being, what we got going on right now and what happened to Brother George Floyd. I just thought it would be nice to have her and him on the show. I was able to get in contact with him. I was not able to. So maybe, just maybe, I might try to shoot for next week to get both of them on next week. I just got to work with her on her logistics and, whether or not she got a grandbabies or not, So,
brother, I wouldn't mind you having Charles Ali on again, because she inspired me to come up with like 9 attributes of a good quality black man. When I saw that,
Shahrazad Ali is a friend of mine, man. I know her personally, man. I can get her on here anytime I want. Yeah, I've known Sister Ali for years.
Yeah, because when I saw that video of her 7 attributes of a good black woman, that inspired me to come up with like 9 attributes of a good black man.
No, she's a goddess, and I celebrate her as a goddess. She don't need to die before I say that. She's a goddess, man. She'll
be back
up there.
She'll be back.
She'll
be back. I just spoke to her.
I remember hearing her speech in 1990 where she warned black women what would happen if they accepted feminism. She warned that you do this feminism, it's going to destroy the black family.
3 days ago. Yeah, I just spoke to her 3 days ago. Yeah, I just spoke to her. I mean, her and I, we talk pretty often. Her and I. I have a personal phone number, so we talk pretty often. I've known Sister Ali for years, man. I've known her since 2012. Yeah, I've known her since 2012. So
I got a copy of a book called How Not to Eat the Pig. I got that copy. I got that book.
Oh yeah, I got all her books. I get all her books for free. I get all this for free.
So you probably got that book, Are You a Slave, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Damn, I have to buy mine.
I got all of them. And what she does, like right before she get ready to come on my show, she sends me a brand new copy of whatever she's pushing that particular time. I get a brand new copy of it, even though I already got them all. She sent me a brand new copy, write me a note and all kind of shit in it. Yeah, I mean, her and I are friends, man. Like I said, I've known Sister Ali for years, man.
I need to get some more copies of her. The black man's got to understand the black woman, and the black woman's got to understand the black man, and give those copies to my nieces and nephews.
Yeah, I have both of those. Are You Still a Slave? How to Stay Away from the Pork. I have I got them all, man. I got all her books. I got every single one of them. But I followed Sister Ali for years, man. I followed her for like 20 years. Met her in 2012, and we kind of hit it off in 2012, and shit, we've been cool ever since, man. She's been on my show multiple times. When I was in radio, because I actually used to be a radio guy, radio talk show host.
Yeah.
Who?
Have you ever interviewed Dr. Francis Quest Welsing?
Did I ever?
Dr. Francis Quest Welsing?
No. Wanted to get her. Wanted to get Dick Gregory. When I was in radio, it never happened, man. It never happened. It never
You know,
happened.
you
I
know,
was
I read a
trying
book
hard to
about
get
back
Dick
on
Gregory, boy. I
ISIS
couldn't get
papers.
him.
I mean, I read a book on
Yeah.
ISIS papers. It was a cold
I,
book.
I'm familiar with her works, though. I am familiar with Dr. Frances Cress Welsing's work, but no, I've never had her on my show. She was somebody I would have liked to have had on my show. I'd like to have Dr. Joy DeGruy on my
Yeah,
show.
yeah. Please try
I
to get
would
her.
love to have
She's
her
yeah,
on my
she
show.
because Dr. Wilson, Dr. Francis Cress Wilson, she's a pillar. Of
Mhm.
course, you know Shahrazad Ali, she's a pillar. But if you can get Dr. Joy DeGruy,
Georgia Groove.
man,
What's her
I'm working
expertise?
on it.
I would pay good money
I'm
for that.
working on it. I'm working on it, man.
Hey,
I'm
Perfect Blackness.
working on
What's
it.
Dr. Georgia
I'm
Groove's
working on it.
expertise?
What's that?
What's her
She's a
expertise?
social psychologist.
Yes.
Okay,
Dr. Joy
I got you.
DeGruy is a
She
social
popularized that
psychologist, I believe.
whole. She popularized well, she didn't create it, but she did popularize the term of cognitive dissonance. She really
Yep.
Oh,
without her,
Yep.
I don't think black folks would have known what that term was even what that term was without her.
right.
That is in
I
my
get
opinion.
This is why I like Perfect Black, man. Perfect Black, man. Just this brother knows shit, man.
Yeah. Perfect Blackness be breaking the stuff down. I like
this
that.
brother, man.
I like the way he breaks
I
stuff
like
down.
this brother, man. Yeah, he knows shit, man. He knows shit, man.
Yeah,
That's why
if
you're
you
always
can
welcome
get
up
her,
here, man.
if you can get Dr. Joy DeGruy,
Dr. Joy DeGruy. I'm gonna
man,
try Perfect Black.
I'm gonna pull people to pay to be on your show to get on that.
How do you spell her last name? Is it spelled DEGREUE?
I think no, it's I think it's GRUY. It's a Y at the end of it, but it's pronounced DeGruy.
Okay,
I'm
so
almost positive.
GRUEY, right?
Yep.
Yeah, that sounds
I
French.
do believe. Yeah, man. I would I would love to have Dr. DeGruy on here, man. I would love to have it. You know, I need to get somebody. Say I gotta get my crackpot research team to work on it and shit. You know, reach out to them because I got a little bit of a reach. I got a little bit of reach.
Spelled DEGRUY. Dr. George.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, RUY.
I got you. I'll definitely look her up.
RUY.
Did she come up with any books?
She does a whole. You know what? You know what I would tell you. Yeah, exactly. You know what I would tell you? She's all over YouTube. Just go on YouTube.
Oh yeah, man.
And listen to her lectures.
Hard to find.
Exactly.
Ain't hard to find her.
She goes way back.
Hey, I remember a long time ago, Dr. Francis Wilson had a debate with that white dude. She broke him smooth down on Donahue. I mean, when I first saw on Donahue back in the day, those white folks didn't know what to do with her. I mean, she broke him down scientifically, man.
But Dr. Joy DeGruy, I'm talking about, and look up her contemporary lectures, man. Her early stuff too, but even her late stuff. If I'm telling you right, if brother hasn't get Dr. Joy DeGruy to get on his show, man, look,
it's gonna be on, ain't it?
I'm gonna drag folks to listen to this.
Well, her thing is that post-traumatic slave syndrome thing. That's kind of her
syndrome, and that's
I
what
think she got a book. She got a book named that. I think. Yeah, post-traumatic slave syndrome. I think that's one of her books.
Yes, she does.
That's the title of one of her books.
Yep,
post-traumatic slave syndrome.
All in it. And see, a lot of people are using that term. They're actually mispronouncing the goddamn term, and they don't know where the hell it came from, and they don't know exactly how the proper use of it. I would say I'm not gonna say it. I'm not even gonna do it. Go YouTube her lectures where she has slides where she's teaching white audience stuff. Go do that.
She does presentations. Man. Yeah,
hours long presentation.
Yeah, she's one
Serious
of the greats,
lecturer,
man.
right?
I would love to get the doc up on here, man. You kidding me? Shit.
I'm not one of
I
those
will
types
leave. I will leave the shop early to make sure
yeah,
I'm ready. I would
yes.
leave the shop
I
early.
would leave work early. I would take work off. I would schedule that time off. Oh yes, I
Yeah,
will.
I'm gonna
To
give it a
get that.
shot, man. I'm
Oh
gonna try
yes.
to bring her to y'all, man. I've been working on it for a while. I've been working on it for a couple of years. It's like, but from what I understand, she doesn't go everywhere. So
No, she
what
doesn't.
I have to do is I have to reach out to other people, to get to her. I'd have to reach out to, I have to probably reach out to Sister Ali to get to her. So, it's not because I know I couldn't just reach out to her and be like, hey, Doc, could you come on? It would have to be, more to it than that. So, I got to see what I got to do to get at her.
That's what
But I
reminded me
do
of
have
something about the
reach.
swirlers up there worshiping white males. That thing about the swirlers representing the white male as God, that goes back to the worship of white Jesus when they taught us how to put the white Jesus on the pedestal. And I remember what those white dudes said to keep the chains on the Negroes' minds, make sure there's every portrait of white Jesus in every black church and in every black home. That's the best way to keep the chain
Exactly.
on their mind.
When it
Yeah,
comes
but
to
I'm
Dr.
about to.
Jordan, yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna try Perfect Black. I'm gonna try, man. I'm gonna try it. I am gonna try it.
Hey,
Got my
Perfect
Bro,
Black,
word
you
on
it's
get
that.
her
been a
on
pleasure
there.
being on the
I'm
panel with you,
I'm
bro.
I'm gonna give it.
You get her, and
I'm
I'm
gonna give it
spending
a
rent
try.
money to just listen to this shit.
Yeah, but you ain't gotta spend no money, man. Listen to T.P.O.T. is free, except on debate night. Goddamn it, if you want to ask a question, then it costs you like $5. But other than
You
that,
got super chat for your
I'm
question, right?
if they're going, I'm going to task them to spend some money to ask you questions. That'll be part of your homework. You get Dr. Jordan
yeah.
Greer on. Because
See, this is the thing. When I have someone like that on, I open my phone lines because I got phone lines and shit too. I just don't use the shit because it's like there's really no need. But I have phone lines. When I have a Dr. Umar on or Sister Ali on, I pull my phone lines up, man. You can
I like
actually
Dr.
call
Umar too.
in and ask questions. Yeah, I know him too, man. I know
I
him
like
too.
Dr. Umar too.
Shit, I've had the doctor on my shit many times, man. I got his personal phone number. I call that motherfucker right now. But yeah, when I have people like that on, I open my phone lines so you can call in, ask questions, all that shit. Yeah, absolutely, and it's a toll free line. Don't even charge you nothing on your damn phone bill.
Right.
But look, man, I appreciate you brothers coming through tonight, man. I apologize everybody in advance for Mrs. Horn because I know she's gonna call me tomorrow. She's gonna call me like, oh X, I was tied
Hey,
up.
brother
So
Prophet, how you spell
I
her
know
first
I'm
name, Carolyn? Is it
who?
how you spell her first name? Carolyn.
No,
Carolyn.
her name is Cariol, not Carolyn. It's Cariol.
Oh, Cariol.
Cariol. It's Cariol.
Cariol. Okay, Cariol. Okay, I
Yep,
got you.
yep.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
I know she's
definitely look
gonna
it up
call
on
me
YouTube
tomorrow.
tonight, man.
I
Got
know
you.
she's gonna call me tomorrow and be like, X, I had to do stuff and all that kind of stuff. So I'm probably gonna get her back next week, y'all. And I'm gonna try to get brother Neal Mack too. I'm gonna try to get him too, y'all, because the last time I interviewed her, I had Neal Mack as well. He was on the show too. So I'm gonna try to get both of them, but I can't guarantee it, y'all. I cannot. But I will definitely bring Miss Horn up in here at some point. I'm going to try to make it for next week. It all depends on how the debate schedule go.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind debating against Fasting's Life.
Well, but I'm about to go to bed.
All right, good night,
So
Perfect Blackness. It's been a pleasure.
yeah, absolutely. And when you get the good at the brothers, you get the good officer back on. I'm definitely going to be listening. So I'll get up with y'all.
All right, peace, brother. Yeah, brother Prophet, keep me in the loop, man, because SKC was up there asking if I want to be in debate against Fasting's Life about ancient African culture and all that.
through. I do. Brother Perfect Black, brother Edward Bailey, my man BMT, always up here contributing to the conversation. You
Yes,
know,
sir.
all right, peace, brother.
All right, peace, brother.
Yeah, folks, you know, my bad. I did call Mrs. Horne, and you know, she couldn't come on, and then she had the kids and everything else, and I think she's in the middle of some litigation because she was talking about. She had told me that there's a few things she probably wasn't going to be able to talk about, y'all. So I think she's in the middle of some litigation. So certain things she's not going to be able to talk about. I mean, of course she'll be able to talk about the shit that's public, but I think there's certain things she's not going to be able to talk about, y'all. So like I said, I mean, if you want the story, go ahead, look into my archives. I did interview her a few years back, and you can kind of get the gist of what's going on and all the details of the story. I'm not going to sit up here and give you all the details tonight because we'll be here for the next 5 hours. All right. All right. So I'm going to wrap it up, man. I want to thank everybody, man, for coming out tonight, man. Shit didn't go the way we wanted it to go, but we always make something out of it because that's what we do here. That's what we do here, y'all. We go ahead and we try to make something out of nothing. That's what we do. That's all we know. That is all we know. But a few programming notes. Saturday, for you good folks, we're going to have another league debate, of course. Team NBD will be going against Team BMT, and they will be debating, has the pro-black sector brought black society forward? Yeah, it's going to be a good one, but all of them are good ones. So make sure you have your black behinds here, 8 p.m. Eastern time on the T.P.O.T YouTube page. Saturday night, we're throwing down. Y'all know we throw down at 8 o'clock, a little earlier on Saturdays, because I like to get them over on Saturdays so I can get out of here by 12 o'clock and go do some other shit. But yeah, we're throwing down 8 o'clock, 8 p.m. Eastern time on the T.P.O.T YouTube page. Another league debate, Team NBD versus Team BMT. So make sure you have your black behinds here. All right? All right. Now then, this is the part where I usually give you my spiel and give you my my talk about going to my social media. But see, I don't have to do that anymore because now I have this here. And y'all can just, why is this up here? It shouldn't even be here. Yeah. Now I have this here to show you folks. Take a listen.
Open your mind. Hey guys, T.P.O.T. on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. But you knew that already.
Yeah. So that's what we got going on. And get on down there, man. Check out the social media platforms, man. Like, share, subscribe, follow, all of that. The stuff that y'all always do already. And once again, I want to thank everybody for coming out tonight, man. I want to thank these good people here, man, over in this here chat room. But most importantly, man, I want to thank you for showing up tonight, man, spending some time with us and watching us. It's always good to be up here with you good folks, you know. So, with that, and make sure you have your black behinds here Saturday, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. So, with that, I will leave you with 3 words, you know, like I always do.
Let us open our minds.
I know leadership don't need
Peace, folks.
Retaliate. If we don't stop, if we parade, they celebrate. Eat caviar, drink champagne. If we parade, they celebrate. At the death of a child of a slave, open our minds. I'll never say, remember your forefathers' tears, the lives which was lost for us to see peaceful years when shots stop. Moving flat. If we parade, they celebrate. Eat caviar, drink champagne. If we parade, they celebrate. At the death of the child of a slave. Prophesied. Open our mind. If we don't stop, open our mind. Open our mind. The child of a slave. Prophesied. Open our mind.
Only from the Prophet of Thought series media.
Open your minds.